Comptroller and Auditor General has confirmed the findings of a Headlines Today special investigation into the 52,000 crore rupee farm loan waiver announced by the government. The CAG submitted a report in Parliament stating not only that there were several inconsistencies in the implementation of the scheme, there was no proper monitoring mechanism and no record was kept of loan applications and recipients. Our Deputy Editor Karthik Sharma is with us on the story reporting. Karthik, what are the latest details you can get us on this breaking news?
They are the data is very interesting. For example, it says that the state-wise position of loan account where excess benefit was granted. So we find that roughly 90 lakh accounts in Kerala were given excess benefits. Now, this is the report which has been submitted by the government to the floor of the House. The House didn't function, but then the report was distributed to the MPs. Then report goes on to various details as to, like, for example, state-wide position of loan accounts where debt waiver was granted instead of debt relief. So data shows West Bengal, Kerala, and number of such states either getting more or the money going to the into the wrong hand. But I would say the takeaway here has been, and which is very, very important. It says, Preeti, that as regard to the issue of refines, it could not be vouched that all the beneficiaries having certificate were given fresh loans. Then it also goes on to say, as no record of loan application receipt, rejected or accepted by lending institution was being maintained. So the government didn't maintain any record of as to whom the loan went. Then it also goes on to say that the 34% accounts which were verified for this purpose, they were not issued certificates by the bank so that the farmers could again apply for the loan. And on top of it, they found roughly, I would say, 22.32% were lapse and error, raised serious concern about the implementation of the scheme, which means that 22% of the accounts, there were lapse and errors in procedure. So what the CAG is trying to say is that there was serious breach when it came to the disbursement of loan, when it came down to as to whom the loan went and to the beneficiary. So that's where I would say the real breach was, and that's where the CAG has focused its report on. In terms of money, it's minor. It doesn't run into thousands and thousands of crores, but it also depicts a very bad picture that the job was not thoroughly done. The beneficiaries were not properly selected, and maybe a lot of people who weren't eligible got the money.
Well, it is in fact a reaffirmation of a story, an investigation that Headlines Today carried out in the month of January this year. Karthik Sharma reporting on that story. Do stay on with us. But let's, for the benefit of our viewers, play back the Headlines Today investigation.
In February 2008, UPA 1 announced its biggest SOP for farmers. A 52,280 crore rupees farm loan waiver for 3.5 crore small and marginal farmers.
For marginal farmers and small farmers, there will be a complete waiver of all loans that were Government estimates that about 3 crore small and marginal farmers and about 1 crore other farmers will benefit from the scheme. The total value of overdue loans being waived is estimated at rupees 50,000 crore. And the OTS relief on the overdue loan is estimated at rupees 10,000 crore, the total liability being 60,000 crore rupees.
The poll trick delivered a second term for UPA, but in action, callous ministers and a corrupt, inefficient government machinery kept farmers entrapped in a vicious debt cycle.
For marginal farmers and small farmers, there will be a complete waiver of all loans.
Headlines Today has exclusively accessed the final audit report submitted by the CAG to the government, and it's a shocking read. CAG carried out a performance audit to assess whether the debt waiver and relief scheme was implemented in accordance with the relevant guidelines and objectives. The audit carried out from April 2011 to March 2012 covered 25 states involving field audit of a total 90,576 farmers' accounts in 715 branches of banks in 92 districts. Audit found gross irregularities in more than 25% of the total accounts audited. 13.46% accounts were those which were eligible but were disqualified by the lending institutions. 6% of the checked accounts were not extended their rightful benefits. 8.62% were those who were not eligible but still got complete waiver of debt relief. More than 34% farmers were not issued debt waiver certificates, thus making them ineligible for future loans. In a large number of cases, there was proof of tampering, overwriting, and alteration of records. Though the scheme was meant for farmers directly, in many cases, the monies were disbursed to microfinance institutions. Also, lending institutions fraudulently claimed amounts related to interest charges. Finance Ministry, shockingly, left it to the banks to do self-monitoring. There was no oversight by Finance Ministry while reimbursing the claims.
And this is how it was supposed to be done. On paper, a national level monitoring committee was announced, but it failed to carry out its official duty. In fact, there was no oversight or monitoring at the level of Finance Ministry, the RBI and NABARD. When CAG asked for minutes and the agenda of the meetings, if any, were held by this high-powered monitoring committee, he drew a blank.
And here is the clincher. As per the government records, the loans of about 3.5 crore farmers were waived off. But due to manpower and resource constraints, the CAG could audit a sample size of only 90,000 accounts. So in effect, the audit findings are just the tip of the iceberg. In New Delhi, this is Ashish Khetan for Headlines Today.